Welcome to my audience. This is the Thursday Executive Brief. 5 minutes, 1 leadership challenge, 3 executive moves, 1 action for the week. No theory, no fluff, just execution. So let's get to it. Hello and welcome back on the Executive 5. Let's get right into it. Your change has exceeded the business's absorption rate. A lot of leadership teams think the organization is resisting change. It often is not. It is choking on volume. One initiative makes sense. Then another one gets added. Then a restructuring. Then a new system. Then a cultural push. Then a reporting change. Then an AI rollout. Then a new priority from the board. Then another shift in market response that suddenly becomes urgent enough to move everything else sideways. Each one can be justified on its own. That is what makes this so dangerous. Nobody ever stands up and says, let's overload the business. It happens in pieces. Sensible pieces, strategic pieces, necessary pieces, until one day the organization is carrying so much movement that it quietly loses the ability to properly absorb any of it. And usually the leadership keeps calling the slowdown resistance. What's the core challenge here? This is where executives get it wrong. They look at hesitation, fatigue, slower execution, patchy engagement, inconsistent follow-through, and people pulling back. Then they assume the business lacks energy, urgency, or adaptability. But plenty of what gets labeled resistance is actually saturation. People are not refusing to change. They are struggling to metabolize the amount of change being pushed through them while still doing the work that keeps the business alive. That distinction matters. A business can only absorb so much change at once before quality starts slipping. Attention fractures, priority clarity weakens, managers spend more time translating than leading. Teams stop fully committing to the latest initiative, not out of cynicism, but out of learned self-protection. They have seen too many important things arrive at once and then compete for oxygen. That is when organizational behavior starts getting misread. Leaders see caution and call it low ambition. They see slower movement and call it drag. They see patchy adoption and call it poor mindset. Sometimes the business is not underlit, it is overloaded. So how do we avoid that? Move number 1, stop judging initiatives one at a time. This is the first trap. Senior leaders review each initiative on its own merits. It is valuable, yes. Does it matter? Yes. Should it happen? Probably yes. But the business does not experience initiatives one at a time. It experiences them all at once. That is the problem. A good executive does not only ask, is this important? They also ask, what is already in flight? What will this displace? Who will carry it? And what existing cognitive load am I adding this to? The question is no longer whether the initiative is good. The question is whether the timing is responsible. Move number 2, sequence for absorption, not excitement. A lot of leadership teams are addicted to momentum. New plans create energy. Launches feel alive. Announcements create movement. But sequencing is where maturity shows up. Not everything valuable should happen now. Not everything urgent deserves immediate execution. Some things need to wait, so other things can actually land. That is not weakness, that is leadership judgment. Pace matters, but pace without absorption creates theater. You get activity, town halls, dashboards, updates, and language. What you do not get is depth. The business starts skimming over change instead of embedding it. Real progress often looks slower in the short term and much stronger 6 months later. Move number 3, watch the managers, not the slides. If you want to know whether the business can absorb more change, do not start with the executive dashboard. Watch your managers. They are the conversion point. They are the ones translating direction, carrying confusion, protecting teams, re-explaining priorities, and absorbing the friction created by stacked change. If your managers look stretched, repetitive, reactive, and increasingly transactional, the business is already telling you something. Listen. Managers are usually the first place organizational overload becomes visible and the last place executives think to look. That blind spot is expensive. Let me give you your weekly challenge. This week, list every major change currently in motion across your business. Then ask 3 hard questions. What is truly critical? What is competing for the same people, attention, or energy? And what should be delayed, reduced, or sequenced differently so the organization can actually absorb what matters most? Do not measure the value of the initiative in isolation. Measure the cost of adding it now. Executives love ambition, and they should. But ambition without pacing becomes burden. And burden left unexamined starts looking like resistance from the very people you are overloading. The strongest leaders do not just drive change. They know how much the system can carry before change stops becoming progress and starts becoming noise. I hope that you have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next week, Thursday, on the Executive 5. Take care. And that was it for today. Remember, precision beats intensity every time. Execute the move, run the challenge, and I'll see you next Thursday for the next Executive Brief.